All right, and we are back here on the GSMC Football Podcast. And for the second part of the show, we're going to talk about Ja'Marr Chase now. Um, he's looking for a new contract, and he continues to miss practice. And week one is right around the corner. And it's interesting because he's a guy that has 2 years left on his contract. Whereas, like, these other players, they had one. Like, CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Ayuk. So, and Ja'Marr Chase, he figures, hey, I want a new deal now. I want to get paid like these guys and he is one of the top receivers in the NFL. But this creates more of a headache for the Bengals because T. Higgins has been looking for a new deal, and they were at least able to temporarily hold things off there when they franchise tagged him. And it's more likely than not that, at least in my opinion, he's probably going to end up getting a new deal elsewhere, and I've said that consistently. Because my belief is that the Bengals are going to pay Ja'Marr Chase and let T. Higgins walk. So that's where I'm at. But now Ja'Marr Chase is not practicing. And it's interesting because there's some kind of miscommunication within the organization. Because Zac Taylor said that Ja'Marr Chase was going to practice. And this week, and he ended up not practicing. Well, he was practicing, but he was, Zac Taylor was like for certain that Chase was going to come back to practice. That just hasn't happened. He's shown up to practice in regular clothes. Zac Taylor has said, now these are some comments from Zac Taylor. Wasn't going to make any predictions about whether or not, now this is courtesy of Pro Football Talk. Wasn't going to make any predictions about whether or not Chase would be on the field, acknowledging it would likely be a similar outcome to Wednesday. But Taylor also noted that Chase has been on top of things in the building. Zac Taylor said he's been in every meeting, so he knows everything. He's been in the system for 3 years. He's played in it at fourth year now, so again, he knows everything. He also said, in this league, every week there's a form of adversity, and you've got to find the positives in it. Taylor said, our team has found the positives in it and is able to support a teammate, find positives for other teammates, and continue to move forward. Again, you can't waste a day complaining about a situation. You've just got to make the most of it and keep it moving. And that's what our guys have done. Again, we're all on the same page. We're all on board with this thing, so just excited to get to game week. So that's one of his recent comments. But yeah, he's not sure if Chase is going to play. Now, well, first of all, I hope Chase plays because I did take him with my first pick in my fantasy draft the other day. So I kind of need him to hurry this up. But yeah, right now I'm not going to hit the panic button and say, "Oh, there's no shot he's playing next week." But yeah, it's a little concerning. But also I brought up the disconnect. How is it that Zac Taylor is saying that he's going to come back to practice and that ended up not being the case? That's your player. How do you not know as the head coach? How do you not know about what's going on there? And now you got him saying he's not going to make any prediction because he doesn't want to say something and then it ends up being wrong again. So, because we were talking about this in our production meeting, and I said, yeah, there's some kind of disconnect there because that doesn't make sense. Chill in the chat saying Chase is like, show me the money. Management is like, you signed a rookie contract. Coach is a leader. Yeah, I mean, listen, there's some kind of problem there when your head coach says one thing and then the opposite happens. It just makes you look silly. But listen, Jamar Chase deserves to get paid. Like, there's no, question about that. He deserves to get paid. It's just, you would think that you wait another year and then the Bengals are going to pay. I mean, I don't think the Bengals really expected him to do this. But I get it though. Like, you would think, like, wait another year because you got 2 years left, but you see how all of these receivers this offseason have gotten paid. Like, pretty much all the top guys have gotten paid. Like, Tyreek Hill got a new deal even. Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, they all got new deals. He wants a new deal now. And that just puts the Bengals in a tough spot. Because I guess maybe they figured, like, we'll worry about it next offseason because we're going to move off with T. Higgins probably. And then we'll focus on giving him a new contract. Because this is really the last shot with this group, like, with the big three. With Burrow, with T. Higgins, with Jamar Chase. This most likely the last dance with these three together. Because T. Higgins is probably gone. But we'll see. And, if they're without Jamar Chase, if this goes into the regular season and he's missing regular season games, I mean, that's a huge loss for them. But you still got T. Higgins there who, could step in and he could be your number one. But, you got some young guys that, got to step up and take on a bigger role like Jermaine Burton, who they drafted. I don't know how they're going to be able to run. Well, I think the running game will be okay with Chase Brown and Zach Moss, but you don't know. Chase Brown's taking on a bigger role than last year, and, there's no more Joe Mixon. Zach Moss did play well with the Colts last year, but, let's see how he is in a new situation with the Bengals. It's, you got some new pieces that you got to try to work in. And, having Jamar Chase there with T. Higgins, that makes it a whole lot easier. But, you lose him and you got T. Higgins. Well, again, you're still going to be able to be a good offense, but you're definitely taken down a little bit when you don't have Jamar Chase, who's a dynamic player, who's a top 3 receiver in the NFL. If not top 3, top 5. So it's just, again, it's one saga ends and now we got this. But again, these players, they miss regular season games. That does not help your case. I think that only hurts you. But I understand they want to get paid. I get it. But when that cuts into actual playing time, I just think that hurts. I think that ends up hurting you. Because I always keep going back to the Le'Veon Bell situation. Now, I know Chris Jones last year, he missed the opener for the Chiefs. I've brought that up a few times. But it's just, I don't see how missing games helps you. I mean, you could say, well, when a team goes out there and doesn't play well, that then they're going to realize, you know what, we need to get this figured out. We need our guy back. And then they give him the contract. But, it's just time that you're missing. They're important games. These games matter. And you step back out on that field, and if you're not, conditioned right, again, injuries. It's not a smart move. Like if you're missing like half the season, or if you miss an entire season like Le'Veon Bell did, that does not help. Different positions, but it's just shouldn't do that. Now, I'm not saying Jamar Chase is going to hold out and miss time. Like this could get resolved next week. Like he gets a new contract and that's it. But I'm just I I don't think it would be wise to sit out regular season games because you're hurting you're hurting yourself, you're hurting your team. But that's that's how I feel. So, what does GSMC stand for? Golden State Media and Concepts. That's what that means. All right, but yeah, let me know what you guys think though about the Jamar Chase situation. How do you see that playing out? Chill says I feel like it'll get resolved. Yeah, I mean I think so too, but it's just a matter of when. Like when is it going to get resolved? Because it's a problem if, in my opinion, if it goes into the regular season. Because the Bengals are also a team that gets off the slow starts. Now they play the Patriots to start the year, so I think that should be a win. But then you got the Chiefs after that. It's you need Jamar Chase. So, but before we go to break, just want to remind you guys once again to tip or donate and get your comment recognized. Make sure to go to the $ icon in the chat. This will lead you to, if you want to help out the show, to send out a super chat during the live broadcast. I'll acknowledge it during the live broadcast, and it just makes the show more lively between myself, the host, and you guys, the viewers. We appreciate you guys' viewership each and every day, and any way you can help out the show really means the world to us. And the alternative way to help out the show is also going to the link at the bottom of the show segment on the ticker. Going to GSMCpodcast.net. Again, we appreciate your guys' viewership each and every day. And any way you can help us out, like I said, really would mean a lot to us. So, when we come back from our next break, we're going to talk about the Malik Neighbors stuff. So, he's going to be wearing number 1 going into the season. And we'll just talk about the controversy that's being surrounded by that. So, with that being said, stick around. And we'll be right back here on the GSMC Football Podcast.